You ever look in the mirror and wonder, why does my hair feel like it's giving up before I do? You've washed it, maybe added a little mousse, gave it a soft brush at the roots, but somehow the top still lies flat. No lift, no movement, just there. If you're a woman over 60 dealing with a flat crown that just won't lift anymore, please know it's not just you, and it's definitely not your fault. See, after 60, something quiet starts to happen to our crown. Not overnight, not dramatically, but slowly, the hair that once floated freely from the scalp begins to settle in. The root lift softens, the bounce fades, and even our favorite bob, the one we've trusted for years, can start to feel like it's pressing everything downward. But here's what no one really tells us. You don't have to give up your bob haircut. You don't need to tease it, spray it, or spend half your morning with a blow dryer. You just need the right shape, a style that works with the way your crown is now, not how it was 20 years ago. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 volume-boosting bob haircuts for women over 60, each one designed to gently lift a flat crown and bring life back to the top of your head. They're soft, elegant, and built to support your hair, almost like quiet scaffolding for your crown. And stay with me, because the last one on the list might just be the most low-effort, high-impact cut you've never considered. Let's begin. Let's start with one of the most elegant, understated game changers, the inverted bob. Now, if you've never heard the term, don't worry. This isn't a dramatic cut. It's not edgy or severe. It's simply shorter in the back, with gentle, longer layers that slope softly toward the front. Imagine the shape lifting from your nape up toward the crown, like your neckline is gently cradling the haircut, holding it up like a subtle scaffolding made of air. That upward slope does something special. It creates natural lift, right where we lose the most volume, at the crown. This inverted bob works beautifully as a volume bob for older women, especially those over 60 with flat crowns. Why does it work so well? Because after 60, many of us start to feel a heaviness around the jawline. The hair pulls down. The silhouette feels longer, weighted. But the inserted bob softly redistributes the visual weight, drawing attention upward instead of down. Let me show you how I style mine, and it only takes a few minutes. After washing, I use a round brush just at the crown, lifting sections gently as I dry. Then I add a small amount of volumizing mousse right at the roots, nothing sticky, just a touch of memory in the shape. Can you picture it? Before, a flat crown, heavy ends. After, a soft slope from back to front, crown lifted, neckline neat, posture changed. It's subtle, but that subtle change, you'll feel it. This cut is perfect if you like structure but want something low maintenance. Your crown feels heavy and needs instant lightness. You want something that feels polished but still soft and feminine. I always say, this isn't a trendy bob. It's a thoughtful one. But what if you want something even breezier? A cut that adds movement without effort and practically styles itself. That's where the textured bob comes in. A textured bob is all about movement. Choppy, feathered layers, scattered throughout, give your hair a more effortless shape. Not messy, not spiky, just gently undone. It's one of the best bob haircuts for flat crown volume, especially for women over 60 who want softness and ease without overstyling. Texture adds tiny pockets of air, like breathing room between each strand, so the crown can finally rise instead of lie flat. It interrupts the heaviness, breaks up the cling, and creates visual lift without adding weight or bulk. Here's my favorite way to style it. After a gentle towel dry, I scrunch in a bit of sea salt spray. Sea salt spray may sound like a beachy cliche, but here, it gives fine crown hair a second chance to move. Then I let it air dry, or use a diffuser on low if I'm feeling fancy. And the best part? This bob actually looks better as it loosens up. A quick trim every 6 to 8 weeks keeps the layers fresh and the crown lively. Let me tell you about my friend Dana. She's 68, a retired art teacher, and she'd worn a sleek bob for years. She came to me and said, "I just want my hair to feel alive again." We gave her a soft, textured bob, nothing too short, just enough to give her crown some breath. The next time I saw her, she said, "It feels like the air moves through my hair now, like it stopped holding its breath." This cut is perfect if you want a no-fuss, air-dried shape. Your crown feels stuck or heavy. You want softness and movement without losing control. But what if you want more structure? Something with lift that stays all day but still feels natural. Now let's talk about a classic with a quiet twist, the layered bob. You might have had one years ago, but when it's done right for women over 60, this cut does more than just add shape. It builds soft, natural volume right at the crown without drama. So what makes it different from the textured bob we just talked about? Think of it like this. Textured equals scattered movement. Layered equals structured lift. If you're a woman over 60 and want structured volume at the crown, this layered bob is the perfect middle ground. The magic is in how your stylist places the layers. Shorter ones near the top to gently lift the roots, and longer ones below to keep the shape grounded and full. It's especially helpful if your hair tends to lie flat against the scalp, because those layers act like gentle scaffolds, stacking just enough support for your crown to rest upward, not downward. Suddenly, the crown doesn't cling, it floats. It's especially helpful if your hair tends to lie flat against the scalp, because those layers act like gentle scaffolds, stacking just enough support for your crown to rest upward, not downward. Suddenly, the crown doesn't cling, it floats. This combination gives the hair movement and control, and helps your style hold its shape all day, even on fine hair. Let me share a quick story. Patricia, 72, had been wearing her bob one length for years. She told me, "I like my hair simple. I just don't want it dragging me down." We added gentle crown layers, nothing choppy, nothing trendy. She emailed me a week later and said, "I didn't realize how much my haircut was aging me until it wasn't." This bob is ideal if you want a fuller crown without changing your length. You enjoy styling, but prefer soft volume. You want your haircut to work with your natural texture. And the effect? A shape that floats rather than falls. Now, what if you want to go just a little bolder? Not with volume, but with shape. Something unexpected, but still graceful. Now let's talk about something just a little daring, but still graceful, still very you. The asymmetrical bob. I know, the name might sound bold. That sounds a little edgy for me, you might think. But stay with me. This isn't about chasing trends or looking younger. It's about adding a quiet sense of confidence through something as subtle as a gentle tilt in your shape. One side is slightly longer than the other. Not extreme, not sharp, just enough to catch the light and softly lift the eye. This cut is an elegant bob haircut for older women that adds volume, not just from layering, but from visual direction. Here's why it works so beautifully for women over 60 with a flat crown. Asymmetry draws the eye upward and diagonally, which creates the illusion of lift, even if your hair is fine or thinning. And when paired with a side-swept part, the crown looks softly elevated without a single product. This is especially flattering if you have a round or square face shape, because that diagonal line subtly elongates your entire silhouette, bringing balance and grace without adding bulk. Styling is beautifully simple. I use a flat iron just at the ends, not to straighten, but to add a slight curve inward on the longer side. Then I brush the top over gently to one side. No teasing, no spray, just shape and direction. Let me tell you about Linda. She's 70, fiercely smart, deeply elegant, and had worn a classic bob for decades. She loved the shape, but quietly admitted she felt a little invisible. I suggested a subtle asymmetry, just a 1-inch difference, barely noticeable to the world. But when she saw it, she smiled and said, "I feel like I tilted my head, and the world noticed." Who knew that a 1-inch tilt could lift not just your face, but how people see you? This bob is perfect if you want a subtle statement without shouting, your crown is flat and you want visual lift. You're craving a tiny bit of edge wrapped in elegance. And finally, let's talk about one of the most beautifully engineered cuts for volume, the stacked bob. This one's all about structure. What makes it different? The back of the bob is cut into short, graduated layers, each one stacking slightly on top of the other, like gentle steps. The result? A soft curve that builds natural height at the crown, without needing to tease, spray, or style. This stacked bob is one of the best bob haircuts for women over 60 with flat crowns, because it gives instant lift, with zero styling stress. Think of it like this. It's like soft, layered pillows that gently prop your crown up. No teasing required. And it's not just about volume. It also keeps the neckline neat and structured while shifting weight upward where your crown needs it most. Here's the magic. This bob holds its shape even as it grows out. Daily styling? Super simple. In the morning, I run my fingers through the crown, fluff it a little, and go. Sometimes I'll add a single Velcro roller while sipping tea, just like we talked about in a previous video. No heat, no fuss, just shape that remembers itself. It's especially ideal if you want volume with almost zero effort. You like a tidy neckline, but crave softness up top. You want a haircut that works with your crown, not against it. And the best part, it grows out gracefully. Even 6 to 8 weeks later, that lovely lift still lingers, like it's built right into the architecture of your haircut. Let's quickly recap all 5, and I'll leave you with one final reminder that might just change how you see your hair. So there you have it. 5 bob cuts that don't just frame your face, they lift it. Quietly, elegantly, from the crown up. Let's quickly recap. Inverted bob, soft slope, natural lift from the neckline. Textured bob, breezy movement that breaks up flatness. Layered bob, structured lift without sacrificing softness. Asymmetrical bob, diagonal shape that draws the eye upward. Stack bob, built-in volume that stays even as it grows. Each one speaks to a different part of you, but they all share one truth. You don't need drastic change, you just need the right shape for the season you're in now. So if you're looking for the best bob haircut for flat crowns after 60, one that lifts your look and your mood, you've got 5 beautiful, low-effort options right here. Tell me, which one spoke to you most? Leave a comment below. I'd truly love to hear your thoughts, your hair story, or even what you're considering next. And if this video helped you feel a little more confident about your crown, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Because here, we're not chasing youth. We're choosing elegance, one quiet haircut at a time. Until next time, stay lifted, stay glowing, and stay beautifully you.